can we prepare ELP by considering all 200 databases as commercial, or we need to keep in mind only the prod environment is commercial
Okay.
for Oracle case?
Remember, when we say non-production, this must be in a separate environment, must be in a different data center. This should not be the case where you have one vCenter, where you have the five cluster, and all these five cluster, one cluster is non-production, and four is a production. And what happen when if your vMotion is enabled on this vCenter? So any issues related to production environment, maybe some host or cluster is down, all VM of this production environment will be distributed for different clusters, and maybe some VM will be sit on this non-production cluster. Then it become the production only. If there is a no vMotion, we disable the vMotion of a non-production. So no VM will be moved from here to any of this cluster, or not any VM will move from the production to non-production. Then it will consider as a non-production environment. If it is not a case, Oracle will count every single processor, every single servers on your vCenter. Irrespective of you are using just one VM. They don't care. They will say there is a five cluster, there is a 10 host, all 10 hosts must be the license.
Okay, so being a SAM analyst, if I am preparing the ELP, I need to consider all the vCenters or all the clusters as a licensable, and I have to license all the physical host, be it is placed on prod environment or in non-prod environment. Is this understanding right?
Yes. Yes, when you
Okay,
export the
okay,
data, RV tool data, or you get the
right.
configuration report from the vCenter, VMware vCenter, then you need to validate whether vMotion is enabled. Consider all is a production. vMotion is disabled. Check in which cluster vMotion is disabled. If it is a disabled, no VMs are moving here and there, no host moving any other cluster, then you can consider production differently and non-production differently. That's why in Oracle, environment is very important. If you don't understand the infrastructure, you will not able to perform the licensing. As per the worst case scenario, we consider everything is a non-compliant, we prepare the ELP. That is the only case we do. When we do the assessment and we don't receive any data from the different, I cannot export vCenter data without a server team. If they are not providing me data, I will consider all as a production. Why I will go and struggle to get the data? If I am getting a data, correct data, everything in place, I am highlighting, I am escalating, I am not getting a data, then you consider this worst case scenario. Worst case scenario will consider all non-production is also production, all DR also production, failover also production, everything is a production. We call worst case scenario. And 99% customer, they don't have the vMotion disabled because of load balancing. They heavily invested in such an infrastructure where they can
Mm-hmm.
use all hardware in very efficient way. Zero downtime they expect from the infrastructure. If vMotion is disabled, so zero downtime, it's a dream. vMotion disabled, that means someday some server will be down. vMotion will help you to up your infra 24 by 7 because of the shuffling of the VMs and availability of the capacity of different cluster, different server performance. If there is a
Okay.
one servers and there
Mm-hmm.
is a one cluster, there is a three host, 10 VMs. One VM is getting heavily utilized, and there is a no
Mm-hmm.
vacant resources of this cluster. So that VM will take some resources from the different cluster or different host. They will take 5 or 6 core from this server, and they perform very well. They start performing in a speed is increased, performance is increased because of the vMotion and a high availability environment, highly virtualized environment. So these are the concept you need to understand. When you taking a data, Oracle licensing, you can complete in a 1 day. While what is a Oracle license, how to perform the license, I can explain you 1 hour. But when it's come to the licensing, compliance management, how to check the, how to do the licensing correctly, that takes a 10 to 15 days. Because Oracle is not some you perform some practical. That is, every publisher have the practical. You can go and read the document, you will understand the how licensing we can do. But when it's come to the compliance management, only experienced people can tell you.
Okay, so before preparing any ELP going forward, what I will do in servicing SAM Pro while exporting the data from CMDB SAM source installer table, there is a column selector known as environment under which we can see there is prod, non-prod. So I am right now I am unable to get the vMotion enabled or not to check this part. So what I will do, I will consider all the instances, all the deployments as production only. So am I will be receiving then an escalation from customer?
See, you need to ask a correct question to your client or your customer. If you're not asking a question, client will not able to provide you the correct data. First, try to prepare the questionnaires. Whenever you working as a client facing roles, remember you must have the some questionnaires in place. You need to first ask what is the environment. Can we get the RV tool data? Can you just tell me whether we have the separate environment for production and non-production? Whether all production servers vMotion is enabled or not? Whether we have the capacity based like capacity availability or capacity on demand availability, all these is the terms is available. That's why Oracle come audit and they nobody can compete them, nobody can defend that audit Oracle, because of this much of deep they go and check. VMware I know, and now you tell me how I do licensing or Hyper-V. Can anyone tell me? You know
For
VMware
VMware EXE.
right, because Hyper-V is going in a 5 or 6 year down the line. VMware instead of VMware, you might see Hyper-V in a place because of the licensing terms totally changed by the VMware, and that is a more costly than any software as of now. It is a now subscription based. It is a now core based licensing. It is not a processor based licensing anymore. You need to buy core, like same way you buy your SQL Server or Windows Server licensing. So this much of costly they become. Now every company is validating might be you will get the requirement from your client. Just go and tell me on Oracle licensing on VMware, considering VMware as a virtualization technology and considering as a Hyper-V as a virtualization technology. There is a no clear understanding. There is a no document related to Hyper-V from the Oracle. So how you will do the licensing on this? Whether I need to consider hard partitioning or soft partitioning regarding the Hyper-V. So that is coming up. Next would be Hyper-V challenges in Oracle, and Oracle working in a behind. They know soon or later definitely all will be moved to Hyper-V, and there is a no concept clear. Might be some document is available, but there is a no clear understanding related to Hyper-V technology. Okay, you can read the blogs and everything, but readiness is a good side. You can get the updated news there. You get
Mhm.
very good updated news. But when it's come to the how to perform the licensing, they don't give the practical or anything. They just explain in just uh, uh, just they give the some document or they we need to read
Use
their
case.
blog. Yes, just like that only. For update for what exactly going on in Oracle and what Oracle is planning, what is coming up, that you can get from the readiness. But if I say you will learn everything from readiness, no, you might they might be tell you everything. What is a production, non production? They always consider worst case scenario because they are auditors. They are not the compliance management peoples. They provide the
Yeah, actually,
remediation.
yeah,
Yeah, Satyam.
yeah, actually, I have learned Oracle from that website only. No one has
Right.
taught me Oracle, so yeah.
Yeah, that is good because that's why when you told me you create only the worst case scenario ELP, that is not a good way to create a ELP. And that is a straightforward. It's a just if you're creating worst case scenario ELP, there is a no licensing terms you need to check. Straightforward, you take all infra, do the licensing, submit the report. There is a no due diligence on that. Just the only due diligence you perform whether VMware version is 5 and above or not. If it is, then you do the licensing. You consider soft partitioning. But if you prepare a real ELP, I will show you how to prepare a real ELP. When any customer using LPAR, IBM Power BI machines, then you will see how difficult to create a ELP. Okay. Now,
Okay.
hard
Mm.
partitioning, soft partitioning. So yeah, yes,
Yeah,
Satyam?
Rakesh. So, as a conclusion, what I got for Oracle, worst case scenario will be consider all the environment as commercial. But
Mhm.
if there is a dedicated environment, uh, so we can reach out to customer whether vMotion is enabled or not, right?
Yes,